Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 6, one for the other thumb of the Two Guys Drink podcast, where two guys get away from their families for the night to go drink and talk about random crap. Sean, what's our official sponsor unofficial sponsor for the day?
I'm going to say we don't have official sponsors.
Well, we might soon over on the podcast side.
Ooh, thanks, whiskey companies. Our unofficial sponsor is Rebel.
I picked it up at the liquor store earlier today. It's Kentucky bourbon.
You picked it up because it was Kentucky and you thought it was going to taste like whatever that Kentucky whiskey beer you got.
I do like the Kentucky whiskey beer. It's pretty good stuff. So
I don't know if it's going to go over that same way.
Probably not, but we're going to try it out anyways. So thanks, Rebel,
Cheersies.
for the unofficial sponsor. We're shooting this, right?
Yep. Cheersies.
Cheers. Actually, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It was a lot of a shot, though.
It was a big shot, yes. But no, that was for a $13 bottle. Rebel, you're pretty good there.
I do have to say, I think if we do end up getting, say, a sponsor, the first thing we need to do is get shot glasses.
We're going to spend our sponsorship money on shot glasses or drink glasses. We should get drink glasses.
Well, the reason why I say it is we're doing shots, and I'm not going to lie to you, doing a shot out of these wide open cups.
It's a little better out of the drink glasses.
Yeah, well, they're going to get smaller.
All right, well, comment below if we should get drink glasses or shot glasses with the first any bit of money we ever make, which will probably be nothing ever, right?
Hashtag shot glasses.
Hashtag drink glasses. I'd rather have drink glasses. I also plan on sipping like I'm going to do right now.
Who's your choice, Penguins or Cowboys?
I mean, Dallas Cowboys is our number one search term, isn't it?
True.
We've been checking our YouTube stats. Getting big up there with our 56 views.
Analytics. Come on.
All right, so we got a couple people to call out today. Jake is not here again and has now told us that he will not be here until summertime because school is too important. I applaud you, Jake, for that, but at the same time, boo on skipping for the third week in a row.
This is my brother, so I will defend him on this one because it is for school reasons. I am going to clap you because you are taking your classes seriously. Cheers.
Is it really, though? You think he's really taking it seriously?
He was doing his homework when we called him last call.
That's true.
Well, and you guys didn't hear that. You guys weren't on the show at that point. But, yeah, we called him afterwards.
We did call him after the show. He thought we were recording him for the show. And once he found out that he thought that we were recording him, he got really nervous because he said some things he didn't want his parents to find out for. It was quite entertaining.
Yeah, I can't believe you just said that. If the parents watch now, the instantaneous question is, what did you say?
I don't even remember. I don't remember what I ate for breakfast.
I just remember he thought we were video recording him, and he was freaking out about it.
He was totally freaking out. It was quite hilarious.
And he believed us. He 100% believed me.
Well, the other person we need to call out is Laura Jack. You've been commenting on the show. She's probably our only fan at this point. And
No. We got my wife. My wife's a big fan.
Fan?
Fan, yeah.
Okay,
she likes our show.
All right, well, if Sam's a fan, we'll call her fan.
Our official sponsor next week is my wife.
That's true. She bought us a bottle. So thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
In advance. But Laura Jack has been commenting on our YouTube videos, and we called her out saying, come to the show, and she's not here either. Do you see Laura Jack?
I see somebody missing. I don't know.
She literally lives like 5 minutes from
Although there are the two silhouettes in the window. I'm pretty sure it's us, but...
I mean, she lives like 5 minutes from here.
I know.
There's no excuse why she can't be here drinking. This is literally her type of booze, too. She's a Jack drinker.
Here's the thing I'll say. Jack, if you show up, I will bring Jack Daniels for you. I will bring a lime.
That'll be the first episode of Jack Daniels.
Yep. I will bring a lime. I will bring Jack Daniels. And we already have pop here for it. So we already have the mix.
She likes
Coke.
Is she I will pick up some Coke if I have to.
All right.
I mean, if that's what brings Jack here, I will pick up some Coke. And she will get entertainment out of the fact that she has me drinking Jack, which I really don't like Jack. I will drink a bottle of this over one shot of Jack.
I already get entertainment out of. We have 6 episodes, and all you've drinking is whiskey so far.
I'm trying to
I know you're getting into it.
I'm trying to get the palate. And so far, I found a couple I like. This is very drinkable.
I told you that beforehand. This one's not bad, especially for its price point. It's not bad.
Okay, so over the weekend there was a marathon of probably my favorite movie series, Rocky. And you're a Rocky fan too. We've watched, I think, both Creed movies. No, just the second Creed movie.
No, we watched both. We went to the theater for the first one, I want to say.
I thought we went to the theater for the second one.
We definitely went for the second one. I'm pretty sure we went for the first one too.
Well, either way, we're both Rocky fans,
Mhm.
and so it got me thinking: what is the best Rocky movie?
Man, if you go through 1 through 3,
You can add in the Creed movies
if
too.
you want to add the Creeds, I actually like the Creeds better, both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Than any Rocky.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the Creed movies that I really enjoy.
I was talking to Eric about it this week, and he actually might want to join our show at some point as a guest. So I told him he's welcome to. Anybody's welcome.
Anybody's
if you want
welcome.
to join the show, feel free to reach out to us, and you can come on the show.
We have extra red Solo cups, and typically the bottle of whiskey doesn't empty before we leave.
Yeah, so we're good there.
However, before we end the show, if we ever do, we're gonna have to finish a bottle of whiskey, one whole bottle of whiskey on one show. See how that goes.
It's gonna be a long show.
We need to invite more guests.
We need to invite more guests. It's gonna be a long and entertaining show. Maybe the draft day show.
Oh yeah.
We're planning on doing like a longer draft day show. Right?
We still need more guests.
I'll polish off a bottle of whiskey. If it's that big, we could polish off a bottle.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll be a little fucked up.
That's what I was thinking.
So anyways, I was talking to Eric about Rocky, and he said his favorite Rocky movie was Rocky 2, which was to my surprise because that's probably my second least favorite Rocky.
See, I didn't like, obviously, the last one of Rocky, not the
Balboa
Creed.
Or Rocky 5?
Rocky 5. I also, Rocky Balboa would fall on that list, too. I wasn't a huge fan of that one either.
See, there's things I absolutely love about Rocky 5, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they could have made, basically what they've done with Creed is I thought they could have made a whole another franchise of him being a trainer.
I agree, but they didn't go that route.
They didn't until Creed, obviously. They didn't go that route.
If they would have went that route in that series, in that movie, my mind might be different.
Right. But Rocky 5, there were some really good things about it. Rocky 2, I pretty much fast forward about an hour of the movie. Because basically from when she goes into a coma to when she comes out of the coma, it's just fast forwarded because it's boring to me.
See, I kind of look at Rocky 2 as just an extension of Rocky 1. They feel like one movie to me is just too long to be one movie. Because it's literally just the rematch between him and Creed, or not Creed, but Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed.
But it's just a rematch. It to me, it's the feeling of one story. Where the next one after that, Mr. T, that's a new story. Yes, you have Creed getting involved as a coach now, but that's just a different story. The first two, they're one story.
I think it's a good sequel.
It's a good sequel, but they're one story to me.
I do love the scene when she says, "Just win," and then Mick's like, "What are we waiting for?" He gets all excited. I love Mick. Mick's my favorite character. But I would say my favorite Rocky is Rocky 3. That is the Mr. T Rocky. That's the Thunder Lips Rocky. Thunder Lips is a very entertaining portion of that movie. I like that he badly loses the fight with Mr. T and then has to redeem himself and change the way that he fights. And, although he loses the way that he fights again like that, it doesn't make much sense. But
he changes the way he fights. He tries to fight like Apollo Creed. Yeah. He can't fight like Apollo Creed as much as he wants to try.
Right. He has no rhythm, and he tries to have rhythm, and he ends up getting rhythm, but then in Rocky 4, the rhythm is completely gone.
He has no rhythm. He still has no rhythm.
He probably has no rhythm.
He has no rhythm. It's a movie. He has rhythm because it's a movie.
But for somebody who likes action-packed, that it has the most pound-for-pound action of a Rocky movie, right?
You just said about it. Actually, Rocky 4 I really enjoy. The Ivan Drago.
Probably my number 2.
But that's also why I like part 2 of Creed. Because Ivan Drago's son, I really get enjoyment out of that storyline.
So your favorite's Creed 2 then?
I really like Creed 2, but I like the way they tell the storyline of what happened to Ivan after he lost that fight, and how he got disowned by the whole country. By the way, spoilers. Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched those movies,
who hasn't watched those movies?
Hopefully, nobody that has watched our show.
They've been out for years, but I think that the only thing I don't like about Creed 2 is that it's virtually, if you think about it, it is Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 put together.
Okay.
Because he loses the first fight, wins the second fight.
And you had Ivan Drago.
You had Ivan Drago. You had the Russian story.
Like I said, my big thing about Creed 2 is it's the Russians, the continuation of telling you what happened to Ivan Drago. That is my key part to that.
I think it's a great movie, but I definitely think Rocky 3 is the best. So out of the original Rocky series, then which Rocky would you take? Number 4. 3 and 4 are the best ones.
3 and 4 is where I'm going. I'm just not sure which one I would choose between the two. Because once again, that something about Creed 2 and that Rocky 4, just the story between the two. So I'm gonna go with 4. I'm gonna go with Rocky 4.
Okay.
Just because of the story, the continuation of that story.
I still love Rocky 1. I mean, it was a classic for sure. But I think that with me being, I'm in it for the action, and then I mean, he is in Rocky 3 and 4. He is absolutely is cut. Like if you're talking about working out, the dude is as cut as can be.
Truthfully, if you like a series of a movie, I'm pretty sure it's certain you have to like the first one. To like the whole series.
Or at least you have to like it a little bit anyway. So
yeah, you have to like
into the series.
Right. You have to like the first one a little bit, something about it. Because eventually some of them go bigger, go better. Some of them get worse. Usually time you get to part 3, they usually suck. Most of them, thinking about movies,
the great movie series don't, and that's maybe what we should talk about next. What's your favorite movie series?
Oh, you go many routes on this, depending on what kind of genre you're looking at. Like before the show, I sat there and said, because the Mighty Ducks TV series starts this weekend, the Mighty Ducks series, as a kids movie and a sports movie, I can sit there and watch all 3 of those movies all day long. All 3 are great.
Best kids movie series for sure. In
my opinion, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could throw in like Minions and stuff like that, but I would still think.
Okay, let's get even more detailed. Best kids sports movie.
Yes, best kids sports movie series. Period. Yes, and I would even say Mighty Ducks 1 could be the best kids sports movie of all time.
I would rate it that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but
there definitely is. Like if you're looking at kids sports movies, or not just kids, but sports movies in general, like Blindside's really good. Remember the Titans.
I mean, kids' sports movies. Rookie of the Year was great.
Rookie of the Year.
You had
Angels in the Outfield. Nobody ever sees that. Where's that one at anymore?
Little Giants. Little Giants is a great one, right? So.
By the way, you just made me think of that, and I think I said it to you a few weeks ago when you brought up. Where is Angels in the Outfield? It's a Disney movie, and it's not on Disney Plus.
I don't know.
Disney Plus. Step up.
Where you at, Disney?
Step up.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I haven't either. I don't know where it is anymore.
Yeah. It was a good movie.
It was, it was fun. It was.
Are you sure it was a Disney movie?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be on Disney Plus?
I don't
know. Maybe they're intentionally leaving movies out so they can release them in.
They do some of them that way.
Yeah,
yes,
that could be it.
But they've released a ton. Like remember dinosaurs? Not the mama, not the mama, not the mama.
Yeah.
You just put that back on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched an episode of that.
That's
and I
great.
realized how ridiculous that show is.
Oh, it's great though. It's hilarious.
Okay, Rocky. Getting back on the topic, Rocky's definitely one of my top 3 movie series of all time. But in recent years, I think for me, Harry Potter's taken over as the number 1 movie series of all time, and it's because it's so rewatchable.
Yeah, like, every one of them again.
I usually watch the series all the way through like 3 times a year, and I kid you not, by the time let's say I watch it in April and then I watch it in October. By the time I watch it in October, I forget half of what happens in it because it's such a long movie series.
8 movies, technically 7 movies, but part 7 is 2 different parts to it. I've read the books, so I have the different side to that, and you know my opinion. I love Harry Potter. I think it's an incredible story. I think
fantastic.
I think the movies definitely did it justice as well, which isn't always the case. Usually you get a book, and sometimes the movies don't do it justice. But just in that case, you said that. I also like The Lord of the Rings. I know that I don't think that was necessarily you thing, but I like The Lord of the Rings, which
it was definitely not a me thing.
Originally came across as more of an adult version of what Harry Potter really is. But when you stop and think about it, it's really not. It's just a created world. The great author J.R.R. Tolkien, who created it, he created this in the middle of the war. And if you actually watch through the movie, you can tell all the aspects of the Civil Wars, World War I and II. You could tell all the aspects that he was coming from in that movie. Nonetheless, Harry Potter was more of those two. That was more of the relatable that an adult can watch it and a kid can watch it. Lord of the Rings was more of an adult movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not going Star Wars.
Star Wars is definitely there. Definitely there. There's a lot, dude. I can sit here. If you know my horror love, I love horror movies, the Scream movies. The Scream movies
Saw.
catchy. See, it doesn't catch me as much.
See, I thought like the first 3 Saw movies were phenomenal, and then you could skip like I think they had 10 of them.
Aren't they coming out with a new one with Chris Tucker or Rock in it?
Oh, I don't know, but
It's
the
called
last
something
one
different.
that they came out with was really good. Like how they tied in everything, and
I think I remember why. I think you told me this, and I watched it afterwards.
it was really good.
Yeah.
I liked it. So I mean, I think the Saw series was great. I liked how it was a puzzle, but once you knew who was doing it and it was the same stuff, it kind of
bores out.
Yeah, it bored out.
What else? There's a bunch of them. The paranormal movies. If you go to that genre, it's just a matter of the genre.
Halloween,
the new Halloweens are pretty. The new Halloween that they're setting up. We went together with our wives and saw.
Well, my wife is a big Halloween.
Right, but the next 2, because there's a continuation to that movie.
Right. Halloween
Again or something like that, and then Halloween Kills. So there's one more coming out this October, and then one the following October, back to back. I can't wait to see it. All these remakes, how people are recreating the stories. I like Scream. Scream's coming out with Scream 5, but they're kind of recreating the story again. I love it. I love it when you say like Halloween. They had Halloween 1, and whatever you thought between Halloween 2, 3, 4, H2O, whatever they called them, they don't exist. We're going from Halloween 1 to this movie. That's our timeline. I love it. Please do more of that, because if you can find somebody who can create a good story, I don't care what it is, please create the correct story.
Well, not to mention, like when you talk about the older movie series, like from the 70s and the 60s,
yeah,
like they could not do a justice for what our technology can do nowadays, right? So, I mean, just watching a murder scene is completely different from 1970 to 2020.
I want to say that though, but I don't. Do you have HBO Max yet? I think you know I do. I didn't know if you got to it.
I had it. There wasn't enough content for me to pay for.
Well, I got it because next week Godzilla versus King Kong comes out, and
aren't we going to see it in theaters?
We are, but my son loves Godzilla.
Okay.
So he watches all of the Godzilla movies on HBO. Loves it.
Okay.
However, they came out last week with the recut version of Justice League, the Batman movie from Zack Snyder. This movie I've watched it. It is 4 hours long. Crazy. My wife would never be able to sit through that. She'd have to watch it 4 different days, 1 hour per day.
Right. Well, that kind of makes sense.
Love you, but you know that. You know that's true.
That's kind of how I couldn't get into Lord of the Rings. It was too damn long, and it didn't keep my attention.
What is it? It's almost 10 hours or something like that to watch Lord of the Rings, all 3 of them.
Yeah, and Harry Potter is just as long, but for some reason it hooks my attention.
It's just as long, but it's more movies. Like where Lord of the Rings is 3 hours, Harry Potter is about a 2-hour movie, and it's just more movies.
And I don't know. There's something about the Lord Voldemort stuff. I just get hooked into the story more. I don't know.
Nonetheless, the Justice League movie. So there's 2 different directors. The one director is the guy that everybody blasted for making that movie a mess. And I forget who he was, but Zack Snyder did a different version. That 4-hour version. I sat through it because I'm a superhero. I like Marvel. I like the superheroes. That movie is awesome. It legit, as much as it's a 4-hour movie, they do it. They tell a story. How I say about telling a story. They do a good job of fixing what the issues were with the original copy of it and telling a better story with the same content, just added in content to make the story better. And it just was great. But to me, everything comes down to these movies. Who is the story idea? Who's creating the story behind it? Because the story means everything. I don't care what it's about. If it's a good story, it's a good story. Like we watch TV shows on YouTube or Netflix all the time. Ozark's amazing.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing because of the story we watch through weekly. But it's always a story thing. If the story's good, you can watch it.
Yeah.
Story sucks.
I mean, I have trouble with superheroes, but for some reason, what do they call it? The anti-heroes. I really like them, like Venom. I really liked. And,
yeah, but he's funny. You like
Deadpool. I really liked, and like if there's a humor aspect, I'm
you're in.
I'm sucked in. I'm good.
See, most of the superheroes, I like the villains, especially a good villain in the superhero movies. because a good villain usually has something that you can relate to and understand why he's thinking a certain way.
I like the Joker movie we went and saw.
Oh, yeah.
Together.
And once again,
good.
he's paranoid. He goes free side. He's paranoid. So
it made you wonder like what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
It was really good. I really liked.
like you've watched a little bit of the Marvel movies, right?
I mean,
Do you know anything about Thanos?
Nah, not much.
Thanos wants to. His whole mission in the movie is to eliminate half the world. Okay, and he wants to do that because with as many people as we have, we're going to run out of food. We're going to cause too much chaos. We're going to run out of space. So he believes fixing
So it's
the
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lego movie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Taco
yeah,
Tuesday.
Yeah,
You're gonna ruin the world on Taco Tuesday.
Nonetheless,
I watch more kids movies than anything. Can you tell?
I do too, but I'm talking about superheroes at this point. So, all right, well.
So my vote was Harry Potter. What was your vote? You went all over the board.
We got way over there, or I did at least.
Is yours
I
Lord
like
of the
movies.
Rings?
What are you gonna say? What's that?
Is yours Lord of the Rings? Like, what's your vote?
Oh man, there's so many. I like movies, especially storied movies.
Sure. Mighty
Jeez.
Ducks, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
I'm gonna make this simple and make my son love me. I'm gonna go with the Godzilla movies.
You're selling out. Selling out.
Some of those Godzilla movies are fun. He's been around for 100 years. What do you want?
They're decent. They're not greatest movie series.
Not the new
of all
ones.
time.
I'm talking about old time. He's been
I'm
around
talking
since
greatest movie series of all time. There's no way.
How do you last with Godzilla? He's been around since 1954.
Just because people keep making the movies doesn't mean it's good. There's been like 100 of those ape movies. What are they called? The Apes of the Planet of the Apes, right?
All right, I'm gonna go with a personal favorite then, and there's so many. Like I could easily go with Harry Potter because I think I liked Harry Potter at one point more than you did, so I easily can go that route. But I'm gonna go with one that's just a heart passion, something I like, and not everybody does. But it's the Scream movies.
Yeah, my wife would probably be right there with you. She watches the Scream movie. That or Jurassic Park.
There's something about a murder movie where it can realistically happen in real life.
What about Jurassic Park?
That's a good.
That'd be my wife's favorite.
If you're putting me on the spot for one, I haven't. It's just so hard. I'm only going with Scream because of a passion of liking to watch that movie and horror movies.
So our like 3 fans have spoken, and their favorite thing that we talk about is football.
Right.
Right.
And
so,
worst part scenario for me is it's not just football. It's the team on his hat.
Yeah, that's right, baby. Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboy, and I don't want to say football, but Dallas Cowboy free agency.
Yeah. Maybe it's because that's one of the hashtags that you use.
Maybe, yes, right?
But
maybe it's his free agency time frame, and everybody's looking at free agency at this point.
Could be. But America's team is definitely important in the world of football. But we're not going to talk a whole lot of America's team today. We're going to talk about free agency updates, which is Juju re-signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, even after supposedly getting a 3-year, $30 million offer from the Philadelphia Eagles. So he signed for less money and less years to re-sign with Pittsburgh. What are your thoughts?
We need to rewind through some of our episodes because I'm pretty sure in multiple episodes I said bye-bye to Juju.
You did. Yeah, you called. He said out of town. He's done.
And I'm going to say this once again. I think he is a good wide receiver. Not necessarily a great wide receiver, but a good wide receiver. And for the Steelers to go and pay that money, as much as I get the discount and everything, they have 3 other wide receivers. They did not need to pay that money for Juju when they need offensive line help. They need a running back, possibly. They need to replace some of the defenders who left, the linebackers who left.
I will tell you what that is all about, okay?
That's easing Bennett back for a year.
No, I will tell you what that is all about. That is all about the Pittsburgh Steelers, just like most organizations are about their pocketbook, right? And if they looked at their number 1 jersey sale last year, it was Juju Smith-Schuster.
Was it, though?
It was
TJ Watt was up there.
No, Juju Smith-Schuster sold more jerseys over the last 3 years than any Pittsburgh Steeler. So they said, well, we could spend $8 million on Juju and probably sell a few more jerseys. And he's a super popular Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, we're in Pittsburgh.
I'm not bashing him. I think he's a good receiver. I just don't see the point
I think he's
of what
like
we
more
needed.
for the off the field things. I mean, for God's sakes, I was at a Chris Brown concert and Juju walks through and has girls grinding on him in the middle of the Chris Brown concert. Like, he is at any social scene in Pittsburgh as part of the community.
That's his top business is his social media, not his football game. His top business is his social media game.
Right, but he literally, I mean, he rode his bike to work. That was a big thing for a while.
Until he lost his bike and then
like,
somebody replaced it.
He was on billboards. He is just, I think he's the number one fan player.
In the whole NFL, probably.
At least for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Definitely for the Steelers, but realistically, what I'm watching out of him.
I think that the Steelers organization decided that it was smart for them to re-sign a guy who their fan base likes on a hometown discount. Do they need him? Hell no, they don't need him. They did not need him.
The problem is the money doesn't make sense. When you can go get a starting tackle to defend your quarterback, you can get a guard, a center, because your center just retired.
I could make the argument that your third or fourth best receiver is probably as good, if not better, than Juju.
Yeah, I can make an argument for that too.
Yeah, I mean, you had guys like James Washington who couldn't get on the field last year. And he's very good.
He's not that. Him and Juju are not that far apart.
It's not like it's
they are not that far apart.
Difference.
Right? My issue is that $8 million they gave to Juju, which is great. I mean, you have other receivers, things like that. Great, you got a great deal on them. If we needed a receiver, that would be awesome. If we needed a receiver, the problem I have is we just had our Pro Bowl center retire. We have nobody to replace him. There are 2 centers on free agency right now.
Our fans are going to blow up.
Yeah, I hear that. We have 2 centers. They had the Packers center out there, and I forget who else. There was another center. But there's 2 centers on free agency.
Draft somebody.
Maybe, but why? If you have $8 million, you can get a starting caliber center. Why?
Yeah.
Or if there's, don't get me wrong, $8 million is not going to get you a starting caliber left tackle.
Who's your backup center? Maybe they have confidence.
No, that guy got cut.
Oh, okay. Well,
or not cut. No, he signed with somebody else.
So Galladay got signed to the New York Giants.
That move I like because the Giants needed a receiver.
I like the move for the Giants for a little bit, but then I sit there and go, if you don't have a quarterback, what does signing a receiver actually mean? Because Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, whatever you want to call him, he is mediocre at best.
Maybe this is what they're trying to figure out. Maybe that's what they're trying to figure out right now.
Maybe they're going to draft a quarterback. I have no idea.
Not even that. Maybe they really don't know what they have in their quarterback.
But Barkley is a bust. I mean, you keep saying he's nowhere near as good as people thought he was going to be. He's the make or break.
We're going to hashtag Saquon Barkley. We want every Saquon Barkley fan out there to hear this, and we want to hear your responses.
He gets like 1 yard to carry until he breaks one 40-yard run, and it gets him to 4.2 yards a carry. That's a bust, okay? I'm going to take a second. I'm going to turn my hat backwards on this. You want a good running back like Ezekiel Elliott who takes a 2-yard run and turns it into a 6-yard run after contact.
There it is.
That's a good running back.
There it is.
A Derrick Henry.
That's a better comp right there.
Is a good running back.
That's a better
Saquon
comp.
Barkley is I want to be Barry Sanders, but I'm not good enough to be Barry Sanders.
No, he's a wannabe Barry Sanders who plays on the New York Giants, who does not have a good offensive line.
He's the Derrick Rose of the NFL.
He literally has a questionable quarterback with no wide receivers.
He is the Derrick Rose.
What's your opinion of Evan Ingram?
Actually, no, wait. That would be an insult to Derrick Rose.
I would say
Derrick Rose had a
really,
really great couple of years there.
He was good when he was a rookie.
But I'm saying injury-wise.
NBA and NFL, you know this just as well as I do. They're different. A star in the NBA can dominate the game. A star in the NFL, if you're not quarterback related, needs help from offensive line or different positions.
If I was a Giants fan, I would want Saquon traded for whatever I could get.
What happened to your running back last year? What happened to your running back last year?
What about him?
What happened to him? He wasn't up to snub.
He still averaged 4.6 yards a carry.
He almost got replaced by the backup for
who's
a lot of
also
games.
Really good and better than Saquon. Both of them are better than Saquon.
Just asking what happened to him last year.
It doesn't matter. He's still better than Saquon.
You're not giving me an answer here.
He doesn't run into the line and fall down.
He just didn't get past the line very much.
He averaged 4.6 yards a carry.
How many?
He was in the top 10 of the league.
How many yards did he average per game last year?
90? It was something like that, 88, 90 yards a game. Yeah, if you were to bet on Zeke Elliott, the over-under was 88 yards a game.
Okay.
So it was right in that realm. I'd have to look it up. But it was in that realm of 80 to 90 yards a game. And that was a down year with our offensive line in shambles. He still averaged like 4.6 yards a carry.
So realistically for you guys out there, me and him are going to be very
All I'm
different
saying
on
is
this one.
they should have saved their money on Galladay, and they should have went out and got a quarterback or something.
They
or a
want to
running
go
back.
with Danny Dimes.
They have a
do.
decent defense.
They do, but they want to go with Danny Dimes because they haven't had a receiver for him. At least that's what they think.
I just don't see it.
I don't see it. I thought he got overdrafted. I mean, there was other quarterbacks. Me and you both watched that draft together and said the same
thing. As a Cowboys fan, I'm sitting there grinning from ear to ear because the Washington football team. I almost said it. It's bad. I'm going to get canceled before I even have any fans. Right? The Washington football team has signed Ryan Fitzmagic to be their starting quarterback, who we know he's going to have 3 great games to start the year.
Did he sign with them?
He did. He's going to have 3 great games to start the year, and then he's going to fall apart. And that defense is not good enough to carry them.
Who was the youthful quarterback? Chad Hanke or Henkel? Or
Heineke.
I feel bad for him. He played
good.
He played good in that playoff
I think he
game.
Might be their future starter.
Don't get me wrong. Fitzpatrick, he'll play good the first quarter of the year.
Right.
But you had a young quarterback. I
maybe
understand.
That's their intention. Maybe Fitz is going to be the backup. But either way, Heineke or Fitz, it doesn't matter. The Eagles tanked their entire franchise. The Giants are mediocre. The Washington football team is mediocre. There is no reason why the Cowboys can't sweep this division and be the absolute class of the NFC.
That was still the same point last year.
I don't care. Well, we had injuries.
You guys were dead last in your division.
No, we weren't.
Who was?
The Eagles were dead last in the division.
Oh, sorry. That's so much better.
And we were 1 game away from winning the division with Andy Dalton at quarterback.
Especially with their offseason. They were so much better. They're going to be so much better next year.
They will.
The Eagles?
Oh, not the Eagles. The Eagles are going to finish dead last. There's no doubt about that.
I was going to say, they only got worse.
Yeah.
They didn't get any better.
The Eagles got worse. So, as a Cowboys fan, I have to grin from ear to ear because if Galladay is the answer for the New York Giants, then they're going to be mediocre.
I do have to give your team credit. You guys did make a safety signing that you just mentioned to me, which was smart. You guys made a smart move. That was something, filled a position for you, filled a need.
He played for the coach that is now our defensive coordinator.
And he's good, actually. His name's Keanu Neal. He's actually good.
He's made 2 Pro Bowls. He's a decent safety.
He's a good safety.
And we needed a safety because Xavier Woods, who was probably the worst starting safety in the league, is now a free agent, and I don't think they're going to re-sign him. So, and we had Donovan Wilson, who came out of the woodworks at the end of the year and played really well for us. So we could have 2 good safeties at the back end of that defense. I'm excited.
Better question for you is who you guys are going to draft with that number 10 pick?
Offensive line, probably, if they're smart. Offensive line, defensive line.
Hey, you never know. Penny Sewell may drop to you guys. If he drops that far, somebody better take him.
Hey, trade out. Let somebody else take it.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, we could use a linebacker. We could use defense. We could pretty much any position on defense. We could use some depth at corner. We lost Cheeto.
When I look at draft picks, that's who I see you guys taking typically. Caleb Farley, I think it is, who I see all the time.
Yeah, I could go for a corner. I mean, we got Diggs now, who's a hell of a corner. I mean, he did great his rookie year. But we could definitely use some corner depth, some defensive line, some offensive line. If they draft another receiver, I'm going to jump off a bridge. So I just want to play. I don't care. I don't care what receiver's on the board. If they draft another receiver, I may have to shoot myself.
What if they draft the quarterback after you guys just signed Dak to that long-term contract?
I mean, no, not. We got
not at number 10?
No, not number 10. If you want to sign a backup, draft a backup.
Unless you take a corner, yeah, I think Micah Parsons is the best linebacker. If he's there, maybe that's a scenario if he's still left.
I still think that, Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith can hold down.
So you guys do 3-4-3 or 4-3?
Well, last year he switched to 3-4. We're going back to our native 4-3 this year.
Okay, so if you have a Van Der Esch in the middle, you don't need Micah Parsons at that point because he's middle. But
I think they're going to bring Sean Lee back on a small deal.
So. Yeah.
So, yeah, Galladay, not worried about it. Juju, I think, was a stupid move, but it's a fan move.
Like I said.
It's a fan move.
Between that and between when Ben re-signed, he literally said one of the big things was he wanted Juju back. He said all season, "Oh, Juju's my kid's favorite players." He said it all season. He made points pointing out Juju. I understand what you're saying about money wise. There is right now. There's a reason why it's a 1-year contract with Juju. they're appeasing Ben a little bit because Ben, and I, once again, Hall of Fame quarterback, I respect what he's done. Ben and the Steelers absolutely believe they have a chance at winning the Super Bowl this year. I've said this many times on the show. That is not happening.
You can't say it's not happening.
I hope it does. That is not. They don't have an offensive line, and they have no money to go spend on an offensive line.
But you can't say it's not.
How can you protect your almost 40-year-old quarterback who had issues throwing the ball?
You have a great defense.
Okay, you have a great defense. You have a quarterback who was slowing down last year. You have no running back because they haven't re-signed James Conner yet. And they should, once again. They do have wide receiver weapons. They do have Ebron on tight end, but the other tight end's not there anymore. They don't have another guy behind him.
You can't say it's not going to happen, okay? Like,
I don't even know if they have a chance of making the playoffs.
You can't say it's not going to happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Okay?
Anything can happen anywhere.
And if Pat Mahomes goes down and the Steelers get hot at the right time, it could absolutely happen.
Anything can happen. I'll be honest with you. I've watched what the Patriots done this offseason. Would I be shocked if the Patriots go back out there and win their division again? No.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we get Tom Brady versus the Patriots?
I honestly think that's why they're spending all that money, is they were pissed that he won the Super Bowl.
They're not going to do it.
Shit, let's not let them do 2 in a row in Tampa.
They're not going to do it without a quarterback.
They some odd reason they believe in Cam. They got him weapons though. So,
Kids Corner, what you got? I went first last week. So.
Ollie Butt. Yes, everybody knows him as Ollie Butt. That's my little one. This kid. The other day, we're outside in the yard running around. We're gonna go inside or eat dinner or something like that. And we're eating outside, and we have him sit down. Tell him, okay, you gotta get off your car and come over and sit down. Get up. He doesn't want to listen. He's over. He's just playing with his toys. Go get him. Go get him for his food. Kid runs from me. Runs right to the dinosaur quad that we have. That's Grayson's quad. Jumps on it. I'm going after him to catch him. And he literally hits the gas and drives away from me and looks back at me and says, "Bye-bye, Dad." I hope you watched the video, by the way, because the video does this more justice than our podcast will. Me actually waving. Because he literally just looks at me and smiles and goes, "Bye-bye, Dad."
It's second kid syndrome because it's the second kid that's going to give you the biggest heart attacks and not listen. My first kid listens way more than my second kid does, but I am going to talk about my first kid for once.
Oh, that's a first. That is definitely a first.
So I have learned now through the eyes of my daughter that the new wave of kids is whatever you want to call it, Zoom, Google Meet, whatever. So they have their Chromebooks from school, which they use at school. Why am I getting text messages?
I was thinking the same. No, that was my phone going on.
No, it was mine.
Was it yours?
Text message. Yeah. But anyways, so they go to. She's going to school, right? She goes to school from 8:30 to 3:30 or whatever. She comes home, and we cannot get her off of these Google Meets with her friends, right? And so they literally will just sit there and talk. So they did a little bracelet thing where they were all making bracelets one time. They turn the screen towards their computers and play Roblox together. Today she comes down the stairs and she asks my wife and I, "Can I turn the Chromebook to the window and go jump on the trampoline?" And I was like, "No, your friends do not need to watch you jump on your trampoline, nor do they probably want to watch you jump on your trampoline." But this is the world we're in now.
Yes, we are.
These kids are going to, go into big groups of their friends on
Chromebook
on
or
some platform, whatever platform is used over the next 10 years, Zoom, Google Meet, all of the above. And that's going to be the new thing. It's not going to be like when I was a kid, we used to all go hang out at, Pizza Hut or Sonic or something like that, right? Something.
The park.
The park.
An actual park.
Basketball court. Now they're going to all hang out on Google Meet.
At their house.
At their house.
Great.
That is the world that we are living in.
Kids, get out of my house. Go.
So anyways, not that entertaining, but that is the world we're living in.
Yeah.
We're in a Zoom world, and
if that's the worst story you have about your daughter, geez.
I struggle to get bad stories. I really do. I mean, she's got some whiny stuff, turning into a teenager.
All right, so we're going to go to a kid's corner where it's actually about his daughter. So, because he says all the sweet things about her. This was 4 years ago now, 5 years ago. We went to Kentucky.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a weekend
Roman
trip.
was like 2, maybe, at this point.
He was in diapers for sure.
Yeah, he was still little. Roman, my kids weren't even born yet. Actually, maybe Grayson was on the way. I think Sam was pregnant. Yeah, she couldn't get in the hot tub. She was pregnant at that time.
Makes sense because Grayson and
He's going
Roman
on 5,
are about 2 years apart.
Yep, makes sense. All right. So this is about 5 years ago then.
She was so mad that she couldn't go in the hot tub.
She was so mad. She would stand outside when we were in the hot tub and just like, oh.
I'm pretty sure she was giving you a dirty look the entire time.
It is what it is. She couldn't get in. It's not my fault. I didn't do anything.
You knocked her up.
True. Very true. Love you, wife, but it is what it is. Nonetheless. Okay, so me and my wife are in the living room. You and your wife are somewhere else, but we're in the living room with oh, no, you were with us, actually, because you called her out on it. We were in the living room with Olivia and Roman. Roman is sitting on the coffee table watching a show. Olivia gradually just goes and whoop, and Roman goes flying off the table. Me and my wife are just sitting behind them. We're like, okay. And then Ian, you got up and we're like, Olivia to the corner, real loud.
Well, you know now that you have kids. Yeah. Like, these kids, they take mental notes.
Yep.
Of like, oh, you got me that time. I'm gonna get you when you're least expecting it, and that's what happens. But my funniest one of Olivia getting Roman, because it's usually the other way around 90% of the time, is when we were at the old house. I kept telling her, I kept sitting her down and going, Liv, you're gonna have to stand up for yourself, because Roman would just come out, and he was still in diapers. He would crawl up and just like pinch her and bite her and whatever else. You're gonna have to stand up for yourself, right? He might have even been a little older at this point, maybe like going on 3. It was right before we moved, and we're upstairs, and I've been telling her she's got to stand up for herself, and I hear her go, Roman, no, and next thing you know, I hear, and Roman just goes, and he is squeaking out, and I just busted out laughing, and like. Roman came upstairs. He was all crying. He's pointing and whatever. And then Liv comes up the stairs and she's all like got her head down. And I just gave her a high five. I was like, about time you stood up. Because she gets beat up all the time by this kid. But now she's to the point where she knows that she's got the size advantage. I mean, she's extremely tall. Yes. Right? So if Roman comes at her, he tries to use his wrestling moves on whatever, she'll just like sit on him. just sit on him. Like he cannot do anything when she does that. So she's kind of got her. She doesn't have to hurt him, but she can like put him in his place. So she kind of figured out. But overall, she's the greatest kid I could ever ask for.
Yeah.
So.
I think our show knows that already.
Yeah. All right. Rebel, you've been good to me. I will say this is my favorite whiskey so far.
Really?
Maker's Mark was good too. This is the most drinkable. I could actually see myself just kicking back and just.
Honestly, I think some of the whiskeys you've brought, you're starting to collection at your house.
This one's gonna stay at the office.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. When I need a drink, which there are days in this industry.
Yes.
If you didn't know, we're in real estate.
Yes.
There are days in this business when you need a drink.
I could have used that. What was
both,
yesterday?
Both celebratory and when you're upset, right? You sometimes you just need a drink.
You need something to calm you down.
And I'm in the position where I have people literally. There's a chair next to my desk so that people could come and come to the desk of Ian and vent and moan.
I was going to say, we
things.
call Kids Corner. There's also an Ian Corner.
Yeah,
it's almost right over there.
It's right over there. It's my little cubby I work from. People come and sit down. They vent. They ask questions. They whatever.
He doesn't get work done. That's really what it is.
Yeah. My work is my people, right?
I guess so.
So, anyways, we're going to cheers it up here.
Cheers.
Rebel, our unofficial sponsor. This is to you.
Thanks, guys. I almost forgot to do that until now. Get a little corner there.
Well, that's smart. Most drinkable whiskey we've had.
Oh, he didn't even shoot that one.
I did. There was a little left though.
Backwash.
Very, very drinkable. I'm a fan. Rebel is going to be one of my go-tos now.
There you go.
I'm trying to become a whiskey drinker, Sean.
You're gradually working on it.
I'm working on it. Evans Williams will never be in my collection. I can tell you that much.
I don't know if Evan Williams is in anybody's collection other than a liquor or a bar that uses it as their basically their house.
Speaking of that, bars, I've been told as of April 5th, are now going to be open longer, and you no longer have to order food to drink.
Wow, how about that?
And I was thinking, so we have...
This is bonus content, by the way, guys.
Bonus content. One of the things I was thinking about is one of these nights, maybe we don't do it on a Tuesday night, we do it on like a Friday night or whatever, but we could go to the new Doughboy restaurant. And I'm pretty sure they have drinks there. If not, we can bring our own.
It's not Doughboy, it's Dough Bar.
Dough Bar.
On the car on Southside, family relatives own it. Love it. Go.
So we could go check out the new Dough Bar restaurant, and we could record our podcast if there's an outside or I don't care.
There is an outside.
We could do it from inside if it's not too loud outside, or we could just.
I drove past there this weekend. Actually, I haven't had a chance to go yet, but I drove past. It opened on the 16th. I want to say. I drove past there this weekend. For what capacities are now, definitely full to capacity. They literally had probably about 8 tables outside that round the whole front. Yeah. Do you know where Steel Cactus is or was in Southside?
Yes.
That's what they replaced. They took over both buildings and replaced that.
So if we got like the outside table, or if Donnie wants to hook us up with like a back room we could record from.
That's true.
We could eat, review, we could drink. It'd be a good time.
That'd be a good time.
That'd be a good time. I'm just thinking maybe we'll do some remote things.
And maybe we can bring. Oh, I would love that idea. That's a good idea. Maybe we can include those owners like Donnie. Hey, maybe we could throw it out to you if you want to come and sit down with us and
you want to be a guest on the show, talk shop about nothing. Like we don't have any shop to talk about.
We literally could talk about your shop.
We'll talk about your shop, the Dough Bar, and what you're doing, and going from one successful venture to the next because he was very successful in his last venture.
That's a great idea going forward. We can definitely reach out to people in different.
Yeah. So if you're one of our peeps and you want us to do an on-the-demand episode and sponsor the show, hey, we're there.
Yeah. Cool.
Deuces. Talk to you later, guys.
Later.